Will you do our clap? Will you give me the clap? Thank you.
I just gave Cedar the clap.
Second time I've had it this month.
Disgusting. Hi guys and welcome back to Hot and Bothered. I'm Chris Bruno.
I'm Cedar Sham.
And on this podcast we talk about everything that we find hot as fuck.
And everything that bothers the ever-living fuck out of us. We have no credentials, minimal life experience, yada, yada, yada. Here really just to talk about nothing and everything at the same time.
That is correct.
Chris, you know what we haven't been doing lately that we should be doing?
You
know what that reminds me of a little bit?
I'm such a bad singer.
You remember the Cedar commercials that would play on TV?
No, what's Cedar? Is that like a medication?
It's like a rice or like some sort of food chain or something.
Fuck. Cedar?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Anyway.
You know what this lady told me yesterday and I can't stop thinking about it?
Tell me.
So these two smashed fingernails. She was like, so I was at another wedding, fucking shocking, and there was like a huge after party yesterday. The wedding was actually on Friday, but Saturday we went wine tasting, and then there was like a huge barbecue at the house and a big party and whatever. And Gabby, the bride, her mom's like best friend, the sweetest lady I've ever met, she was like, I was like sitting on the couch talking to them and they all fucking noticed my smashed fingers. And she was like, oh my God, honey, let me see those. And I was like, okay. Show her my hand. And she's like, oh, baby, I hate to tell you this, but that one's never going to grow back. And she was like, I used to do nails. That one's never going to grow back. And I was like literally rolling with these 60-year-old ladies. And I was like.
Were they rolling too?
Probably, honestly.
I love that.
No, they weren't. I forget her name. Deb. I was like, Deb, I cannot listen to this right now. I cannot think about losing another fucking nail.
I'm literally high as fuck, and if you send me into a spiral,
I was so nervous that my roll was going to take a turn.
Yeah, I would be.
I was very nervous.
That's bad roll worthy.
Yeah.
Hearing that news at the peak of a roll.
I mean, I wasn't peaking yet, but I don't think I got to the peak because of that. But thanks, Deb.
Once
I'll
again,
keep you
Chris
posted
wasn't climaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks, Deb. That's
Thanks,
really
Deb.
shitty of you, but thanks.
Yeah, so I'm just not manifesting that because if I have no pinky nail...
Cliss.
Cliss. I'm trying to think of what two words you're combining to create cliss. Like Chris and clit? Like what are you combining?
Chris isn't claiming that energy this week is what I was trying to say.
Okay, Cliss isn't claiming that energy. Slay.
Jesus Christ. Chris and clit was a pretty good assumption, though.
Yeah.
I actually took my Mexican Ritalin before you came over, and I'm like,
are you shaking?
Fully in it right now.
Oh my God.
And actually,
that is unimaginable. What time is it? It's 6:30.
I know. Well, it usually wears off quick because it is instant. But my problem is that like with stimulants and like Adderall specifically and like stimulants of that nature, I literally lose my ability to talk. So the fact that I took a stimulant before recording is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done. But
that's so interesting. I feel like I can only speak when I'm on Adderall.
No,
I'm not.
I think it's because my brain works faster than my mouth, and so I like stumble over my words.
Yeah. Like the Chihuahua.
So literally.
Yeah.
So if you can't understand a word I'm fucking saying this episode, apologies in advance. It's just me being a crackhead. Slay. I feel like we're missing something for some reason.
Like a device that's helping us record?
No, maybe, yeah, but also like did we forget to say something at the beginning or anything along those lines?
Okay, you are literally on your fucking Mexican Ritalin right now. I think we're good. I did my singing intro, and here we are. I don't think people really care about this. Should we jump into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who did we decide was going first?
Me.
You're going first this week. Okay. Okay. This week is going to be a cute week. Let's
Speak for yourself.
Dive into it. Chris, are you hot or are you bothered this week?
You know, I've had a few days to think about this, and I think I'm bothered.
You know, I always love it when you're bothered. Tell
I'm
me
bothered.
more.
and this is kind of embarrassing and very personal.
That's literally what this podcast is for.
I know. I don't know if my ex-boyfriend listens to this, but I'm like starting to become obsessed with him again.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why, and I don't really think that like I can't emotionally, that's where I am. I'm just like, I miss him. I obviously still love him, and like I want to just spend time with him and hang out with him, but I don't know what that would look like for us. I don't think it would be conducive to like either of our mental healths, or like I don't know how I would like incorporate him into my life at this point again. So it's just stressing me out. Because it's like I can't control it, you know what I mean? And like we do talk every day still, and I'm like, maybe that's what it is. Like, is that healthy to talk to your ex every fucking day?
No.
Like, I know he hasn't texted me back all day.
For listeners' purpose, can we backpedal a little bit, and can you give us a bit more context on like, maybe we don't need to dive into like the reasons as to why you broke up, but maybe just like what your relationship has looked like since you broke up?
We were together for 4 years. We started dating, I think, in like 2000 at the December of 2018, January 2019.
Crazy.
And 2019, 20, 21, 22, yeah. So it was like 4 full years, like almost 4.5 years. We were dating for like 3-4 months, and then I think it was like on Easter when I forced him to ask me to be his boyfriend, because he was like, said that we were boyfriends, and I was like, you'd never fucking ask me to be your boyfriend. So
yeah, you're like, we didn't agree on this.
Yeah, I was like, we've never talked about that. So
I think those kinds of conversations are really important, but I'm also,
but like if you were to ask him that, he would be like, that never happened. But I'm like, I could tell you exactly when and where that happened. And yeah, I literally came home from Easter. I was living in like by LACMA and whatever. But no, we were together for like 4 years. So like 1 year was like obviously fun, you know, first year of your relationship, getting to know each other, just kind of like, you know,
honeymoon phase.
Yeah, like all the fun stuff. And then COVID happened. So it was like 2 years of literally just me and him hanging out, like just doing that whole thing together, which obviously brought us closer.
Yeah.
Were
things still romantic, or was that like, did things start to move more into the direction of like you were like almost roommates or like friends? Or were things still romantic at that point during COVID?
I think that like the first 2 years the romance was okay, and then like at like the 2-year mark is when it like declined. So like the second year of COVID, or when the fuck was COVID? 2020. When was COVID? I don't know.
COVID happened in 2020, correct?
Okay.
But it was like, because then there was like in 2021 we had like a huge influx of COVID cases again, and so it was like year 1 and year 2 essentially.
Yeah, that's like how I look at it, but I don't know. Like I am so bad chronologically with timelines and years and months and dates. Like
Same.
I'm like literally a mental person.
Same.
So yeah, so like second half of COVID is kind of like the decline, and then like when life kind of started getting back to normal is when I kind of really started to like think about what I wanted for my life and how I wanted out of a relationship. And I mean, we did everything. Like we did everything. We've done everything together. So that's kind of another reason why I was like, this is going to kind of sound bad, but like I was like, we're not getting married. So like, what else are we just going to keep doing the same thing for the next 10 years?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think that sounds bad.
Yeah. And I'm like,
really
I'm young. I
practical.
spent, 23 to 27 with this man. I don't regret a second of it. Yeah, he was like my best friend, but I don't know. And relationships aren't always obviously like, they're hard fucking work. And I don't know. I was just being selfish and wanted to break up because I wanted to live my fucking life on my own. Was that the question?
Yes. Essentially, yeah. This is a really bad moment for me to say this, but I have to acknowledge that if you are hearing noises in the background,
we don't know what's going on outside. I think there's like some sort of fiesta.
There's like literally a mariachi band like playing outside of my apartment on like fucking subwoofers. So like if you hear noise in the back, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about that. So essentially, okay, so that was the relationship and like the start of the breakup. And then so you guys broke up, but you were living together. And after you moved out, what is
Okay,
your...
so we were living together for like 3 years. We broke up, and then like I was living at my friend's house because she was out of the country for a few months. And then me and him, like, I mean, I didn't want to like leave him high and dry with like paying the rent on our apartment. So I moved back in. I was gone for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I moved back in. No, I think I was gone for like a month actually. And then he moved into the guest room. I stayed in our room, and I was there for like 2.5 months. And I mean, it was fine. Like, I didn't want to leave, but like, it was fine. We had fun being roommates. Like, I mean, basically nothing changed. I think that our communication was better, and like, it was completely fine. Like, I was sad to leave, but also like our old apartment is like so fucking far away from everything that I do that I was just like itching to get out of there because it's just so fucking far.
Yeah.
And yeah, but no, living together was like completely fine. I mean, it was like literally nothing different. Like, we would kind of like 1 or 2 nights a week like cook dinner for one another and like watch TV and whatever, like the shows that we liked and whatever, but we didn't really hang out too much.
So like, despite like having like a formal ending to like the romantic relationship, you guys still had a really strong friendship and were essentially like...
I mean, honestly, like, we didn't really have much of a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing that I'm not going to get into.
Yeah.
But
you still had like that connection and that companionship.
For sure. And like, I still do. And I feel like a part of me is like, maybe I missed him so... I just like the comfort level that you have with somebody that you're with for so long is like so fucking difficult to find with somebody. And like, not that I want to be in a relationship with anyone, or not that I want to like, you know, look for someone to fill that void, because I'm actually like really at peace with getting to know myself, because this is what I wanted. And like, yeah, just being alone. But I don't know, I'm fucking miss him, and I just want to hang out with him. And like, it's weird. Like, it's like hitting me hard, and I'm just like annoyed about it. And he's very like he's like, no, like, has no
he's so detached.
But like, I don't know if he actually is, because he just doesn't fucking talk to me about anything. Like, I was like so fucked up at this wedding all weekend. Like, I literally think I don't even want to read my messages with him. But I think I said things that were probably inappropriate to say to your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah. You are the type of person that, like, when you're fucked up and you say things, like, you're the type of person, I feel like, that will delete the messages and never look back.
No, I just don't look back. But it was interesting because, like, obviously it's like every fucking gay person in LA knows every gay person. It's like, if you're like, we're all psychotic, we're all detectives, we all like, it's a small fucking world out here. So anyway, obviously, like 2 weeks after we broke up, I was like logged back into Raya, and it like immediately like logged me in and like paid for a month of subscription.
The same fucking thing
I like went to log in just to like see what was going on. And then it did it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm fucking committing to being on this app now. And then I did the whole like just here for friends thing, but I'm like, no one fucking is like,
no one's actually just here for friends.
Actually,
and if you're using Raya for friends,
like, go make friends in person somewhere.
Or there's apps that are like actually meant for that. Like, we don't need to be using Raya for that. But actually with Raya, the same thing happened to me. As everybody knows, I love my ex-boyfriend, and I can confirm I am blocked now. Despite, I told Chris literally like 2 weeks ago, I don't think anyone has my phone number blocked. And Chris was like, there's absolutely somebody out there that has your phone number blocked. And then I tried to text my ex-boyfriend.
Lo and behold, it's like green.
Text went green. When my ex and I broke up, I like was still hopeful we were going to get back together. But I was also like very emotionally unstable, and so I'd go through periods where I was like, we're gonna get back together, and then I went through periods where I was like, oh my god, he wants nothing to do with me.
And then you're like, I need to talk to every single man on a dating app that I can get my hands on.
Yeah, so in a low moment I like downloaded Raya, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just like set up my profile, but I won't like, or I'll just have it, but I won't pay for it yet until like I know for sure.
But it like forces you to pay for it.
And then I go back onto Raya, and like literally my last subscription hadn't even expired yet, so like just like that I was already back on Raya. And then I panicked because I was like, fuck, like what if people find out? Like I was like stressing about it. Obviously that never mattered because my ex-boyfriend wants nothing to do with me. But anyway, relatable on the Raya story, but please carry on about your...
Okay, so this was like maybe 2 months ago or something. I like got a text notification, or I don't know, I got a notification on Raya, and it was like blah blah blah, like asked for a referral ticket from you or whatever. And I was like, who? So I click on it, and it's literally his best friend that like I adore.
Yeah.
Like I love her to death. Like she's the greatest person in the world. And I was like, okay, fuck, like cat's out of the bag, obviously. Like she's gonna ask my ex about it. And so I didn't say anything. And then the other day I was like on Raya, and it was like blah blah blah, friends in common, whatever. So I like click on it, and it says like it has his profile. And I was like, this motherfucker. I'm like, obviously I've been on Raya since like whatever months ago, but I was like, it fucking hurt, obviously. Like I sound like a psychopath, but I'm like, obviously he can do whatever he wants, but I was like,
it's still not something you want to like see or like have in your face or whatever.
I mean, he had like literally 3 pictures on there, and I was like, so I texted him, or we were
like sent him pictures that you've taken of him. You're like, here you
literally, hold on, pause. Okay, so I was like, we were talking, and I was like casually talking about God knows what, and then I was like, Uriah pictures are cute, and he was like, thanks, exclamation point. And then we were talking about something else. I was like, we need to get more pictures, and then I was like, I think I have like some cute ones from when we were in Paris or whatever. And then he like sent me a couple ones. He was like, oh yeah, like this one, and I was like, yeah, I'd like put those on. And then he was like, you have really good Raya pictures. And I was like, slay, that's the biggest compliment anyone's ever given me.
That's nice.
And then
so he's obviously seen your profile and looked at it. Okay.
And I was like, yeah, your friend sent me a whatever referral thing, and I kind of panicked, and he was like, oh yeah, LOL, she asked me if she should do that. And I was like, I don't care. But anyway, now I'm like, okay, am I just like more in love with him now because I'm like, I don't want anyone else to get his like their hands on him kind of thing.
Also kind of just like wanting what you can't have kind of situation.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Oh, and then I was like, and then like a little while after that, we were talking about something else, and I was like, is it too soon for us to talk about boys? And he was like, oh my God, what the fuck? I'm done having this conversation with you. And I was like...
Okay, the way he just shuts down and can't communicate his feelings.
Not even that. But he just like has 0 patience for me, which like I actually love, because it's like that was like the whole... That was like our relationship in a nutshell. Just like
Absolutely.
him. Like, and sometimes it's hilarious, obviously, like in situations like that. But then a lot of the times it wouldn't be like laughable. But no, I thought that was funny.
I love somebody like that like doesn't take your shit and like can kind of like put you in your place or whatever, like call you out when you're being like an idiot.
He would like not even call me out though. He would just kind of shut me down. You know what I mean? Which is like, I'd rather have him kind of call me out but like actually talk about it than just be like, close the fucking door in my face.
Right.
But I understand obviously if it's too soon to talk about boys, but
I'm envious that you guys are even able to maintain.
And then, oh my God, I just fucking ramble on to this guy and talk to him about everything, and he just like responds like 2-word answers. And I was like, because I wanted to tell him about like me being potentially asexual and like not even like enjoying hooking up with any of these fucking guys that I've been like talking to.
Yeah.
And you are over there sitting rolling balls with your Mexican Ritalin. I've never seen you so alert in my life. You look like a fucking meerkat, like about to pounce. You're like this. You're like this.
Stop.
Oh my god.
Like, literally so tuned in.
You are like about to have a heart attack. I can see your heart beating through your fucking tits.
No, my brain is literally going in a million different directions right now. And I'm like, since you just brought
love
up
that feeling, but it's way too late in the day for me to feel that way.
No, I'm like, since you just brought up like the conversation of asexuality, I'm like, fuck, should we just get into that instead of talking about my bullshit?
Okay, are we coming out as asexual? We're like the horniest people in the world, but we're asexual.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, like, if that's the direction we're going to take, then I can answer my question now as to whether or not I'm hot or bothered.
Okay, so you're bothered because you're asexual?
Well, no, I'm actually kind of hot because of that, I think.
Oh, slay.
Well, to summarize, okay, so like you still kind of are in love with your ex-boyfriend, as am I, but you actually have like a great relationship with him, and like you are, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't even know if I have a good relationship with him. I don't even know if I have a relationship with him. I'm like, this motherfucker
like,
doesn't talk to me. I'm just
yeah.
like, talk to him all day long. And he just like talks to me about stupid little things that are like cute, like work stuff and whatever. But like, I don't know what this guy does.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know what I'm doing. Well, he kind of does.
Because you like throw all this information at him and then he gives nothing back.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I like was texting him and I like brought up the asexual thing because I kind of wanted to be like, I don't know, is it inappropriate for me to be like, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, kind of one of those things where it's like, I'm telling him that I'm hooking up with other people, but also, well, I didn't even get that far in the fucking conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm not enjoying it. It's hard to find someone that you like vibe with sexually, organically.
Absolutely.
And I'm really bad at faking it.
Yeah. I could go on a 50-minute long rant about this right now. Because
Well,
like...
Here we are.
Okay, I'm hot this week because
you're asexual.
I'm asexual, and I've been joking
You're
about this.
You're not asexual, nor am I.
Okay, relax. I've been joking about
we are.
being asexual for a long time, like since last summer, and this also goes hand in hand with like the journey I've been on in terms of romantic relationships and like the way that I've learned how I like to develop romantic relationships. And it all started where this one night I was at a like rooftop members club and I went on like a 4-day long bender there. And I had throughout the course of the weekend, I could tell this story in much further detail some other day, but probably not today. Over the course of the weekend, I had like 4 or 5 different momentary flings. Like we're at the rooftop.
You were the bachelorette.
I met a guy and we like are flirting. We're making out. He invites us to this after party. He got too drunk at the after party and went home. And then as soon as he left, the guy who owned the house swooped in and sat next to me, and then we hit it off and we start making out. He introduced me to this guy that he's about to rent the house to.
Okay, I need to be friends with these people that have houses that are rentable.
You don't.
Okay.
So throughout the course of the weekend, I have like 15 different boyfriends. The weekend kind of ends with these 2 men specifically. One goes on to be my ex-boyfriend, and the other I'm still like friends with. But basically, like, they were all hot, successful, hot-ish, successful, like entertaining, funny. Like they all had really good qualities that I would look for. But for some reason, I was like not wanting to do anything sexual with any of them whatsoever. I was like, past making out with you, I absolutely don't want anything to do with you. And I was wondering, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And I realized at the end of the weekend, the one that I ended up being most interested in is the one that I spent the most time with and got to know as a friend, because he was actually unavailable. But I got to know him as a friend, and he was the one who I was like, I actually would fuck this person. Like, I'm in love with this person. And
were you actually like in love with him on day 3? I hate that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the best. Can I say something for 2 seconds? I feel like that is the only way that I fall in love with people, is like if I don't know within like the second or third time I'm hanging out with you, then like it's not going to happen, period.
I'm the opposite, and that's where I'm going with this story. I took that at face value and didn't think much about it until, so I go on to eventually date that guy, and we had a really intense relationship, and it was great in a lot of ways, also not great in a few other ways, and whatever. So we break up, and that is when I go on my first date with Spit in My Mouth Man. and I've said this before, I'll say it again. When Spit in My Mouth Man and I first went out, I was like not interested in him sexually. And it wasn't like I was uninterested in him sexually. I just like, it's not there for me right away. It never is. It's nothing against him. Like, it's not like I wasn't attracted to him or anything. But I'm also not the type of person where like I see somebody hot and I'm like instantly turned on and want to fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously I'm like not the type to have one night stands or whatever, because if I actually want to enjoy the sex, I like need to be
connected to them on some level.
I need to be in it, invested in it in some way, shape, or form. So Spit in My Mouth Man and I decide to go on to be friends. We were friends for a period of time. And then after I got to know him as a friend, I decided, and I remember the exact moment it happened. I was sitting with him at his friend's house and we were like by the pool, and I was looking at his ass and his like swim shorts, and I was like, I have to fuck this man.
You're like, I have to fuck him in the ass.
No, I literally need to peg him. No, and then that's when like the sexual attraction to him developed, and it was because I got to know him as a friend and as a person before.
And he has a really nice ass.
And he's a really nice ass. And so anyway, for a really long time was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I am literally asexual. I do not want to fuck a single person. It's so...
This was before this?
Yes. I'm like, it's so challenging for me to get turned on. I'll literally masturbate 7 hours a fucking day if you let me. Like, unemployment has been tiring for my vibrator. Maybe that's why you're
not attracted to guys, like, or not attracted to men sexually. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes jerking off too much, like, works against you.
I could see that perspective, but I can confirm it doesn't.
I also can confirm it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I try to convince myself that I'm like, oh, like, I'm going to, like, try not to get off by myself. So, like, it'll be, like, fun when I hook up with someone. But,
it's
like,
still not fun.
Yeah. Sometimes. It's just, like, whatever.
Yeah. That also leads me to another point, which I might have to mention this now and we might circle back to it later. Anyway, so basically sexual attraction is something that really takes a while for me to develop. And like, I have to know someone on an intimate level before I want to have sex with them. And I've fucked people like without that attraction being there and like it being like purely physical.
Sometimes
long time
that's
ago
nice.
When I was like afraid of emotional intimacy and stuff more than I am now.
I was going to say a long time ago. Okay. I think we're still living in that era.
I had a rule where I would only fuck people that I didn't like as a human being or like as a person.
That is the most depressing, twisted, weird, traumatic, trauma-ass thing you've ever said.
So fucked up. But it was a way to protect myself because then it was like, if I don't like you as a person, I don't have to worry about catching feelings for you. Mm-hmm. And so like I used to take that approach. And then I had a really pivotal relationship, which was the married man who he like actually required emotional intimacy for sex. And it kind of forced me to like take a look at that. Before him,
no wonder he sent you to therapy.
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
Wow.
Before him, looking into somebody's eyes while having sex would have been my worst nightmare. Like, I don't think before him I had never done that before and wouldn't fucking dream of it. And now when I'm like fucking a guy and he's not making eye contact with me, I'm like, grow the fuck up. Like, you're disgusting. Grow the fuck up.
It's horrible though when you make eye contact with someone and you're not into it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or when you like look at their face and like their face during sex is just like not
what you want to be looking at.
So anyway, I now know that about myself, that like in order to like actually enjoy sex, I need to have an emotional connection with somebody. But it took me fucking years and a lot of trial and error to get there. But one thing I found lately that I've been struggling with a bit is that I'm very orgasm driven. I'll be having sex with a guy, for example, my like last boyfriend, Spit in My Mouth Man, whoever else, and if for whatever reason they're not coming, I'm like, are you good? Like, are you gonna come? Like, what's the deal? Like, I'll check in and ask about it. And I've had multiple guys say to me, no, like, it's fine, like, I don't come every time, and like sex is still enjoyable and sex can still be fun even if you don't come. And I'm like,
what's the point?
Is there something wrong with me? Because if I don't think I'm going to come, I'm not gonna want to have sex.
I'm the same way.
What is the point of having sex if not to have a fucking orgasm?
Yeah, like I don't want to waste 2 hours like trying to come and not coming.
Literally, like my vagina is raw.
Yeah.
I'm in pain. I'm sore. Like,
and
no one's coming. Like, what is the fucking point of that?
What is the point?
Literally, what's the point? But like,
I completely
people
agree.
have made me feel bad about that before.
Has this happened with multiple men?
Yes.
That's weird.
I know. I feel like this is making me sound bad. Like I'm like can't get these men off or something. That's absolutely not the case, for the fucking record.
Is there like drinking and drugs involved in these sexual encounters?
Oh, of course, always.
Yeah.
And also like, or like antidepressants, something along those lines, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a reoccurring issue. I've just heard that comment a couple of times from men. And I'm like, I don't understand for you why sex would be enjoyable knowing that you're not going to come.
For me, if I can't come for whatever reason, lately it's happened a few times because I've been going out a lot and I'm drunk, and usually there's other substances involved.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, don't really like the people that I'm hooking up with.
Yeah.
So it's more recently, it's happened like twice that I like, one time there was like 0% chance. I don't even know how I was in a mental state to even be doing that with somebody because I was so fucked up. And then like the last time, like I was kind of fucked up. It's also like 3 o'clock in the morning, dude. I'm like, I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like,
so
why are we still at this?
So I haven't been able to. And I'm like, obviously embarrassed because I'm like, that's embarrassing.
I feel like it's not, but I get what you're saying.
But I also hate when like Mr. Organic is fucking annoying. All he wants to do is like fuck. And I'm like, if you just like slowed it down for 2 seconds and like made this enjoyable and made me like want to fucking come, then I would fucking come.
Yeah.
But I'm like, stop trying to do all these things to like make me come. Just I will fucking come how I want to when I fucking want to. Like, you're putting too much pressure on me. You're stressing me out.
For reference, we're talking about Mr. Organic. This
Yeah.
is good.
But like, it's not bad, but I'm just like, slow down. Stop like trying to like make me fucking come. Like, we'll get there. It just kind of pisses me off, and then it like puts me in a bad mood while we're hooking up. I'm like, I don't know, but it's like, it is enjoyable and he is patient, but also it's just like, I feel like maybe I'm not as open and vocal about like what I want. But then again, I'm like, I just want to go to bed in this moment. Like, not kidding.
You're like, I don't even want to have a conversation about it. Can we just not and like just go to fucking sleep?
Like, and then it's always in the fucking morning too. Like, bro, I have to fucking go. It's fucking annoying. I
don't know if this is what you're getting at, but I'm just going to introduce this conversation because I know that this is a problem for a lot of women, straight women specifically. Obviously, I don't know if I need to clarify that at this point, but I'll continue to for the sake of representation. A lot of like straight women struggle with this, where like, especially in long-term partnerships where sex is almost an expectation, your partner, if it's a straight woman, obviously your boyfriend, your husband, whatever the fuck he is to you, will no longer like put in an effort to try and turn you on before trying to just like fuck you. And so like you lose out on the aspect of foreplay, whether it be like physical foreplay, emotional foreplay, any sort of foreplay. You completely lose out on that. And then they're like literally just trying to fucking stick their dick in you. And it's so
That's
frustrating because it's like,
with this person.
That was a big problem for me in my last relationship, is because it was like,
let me just put it in you.
Always just trying to put his dick in me. And I'm like, can you take a second and actually try and turn me on? And then there was always an issue because he'd be like, well, you never want to fuck. And I'm like, yeah, because you don't even like, you haven't even tried to like turn me on. Like, there's no effort being put into it. And it's like you're just trying to get your dick out and put it inside of something. And that doesn't make me horny. Like, I don't want to fuck you when you take that approach to sex. And so then it was like, I was the fucking problem because I never want to have sex. And it's like,
no, you're not fucking doing your job of turning me on.
Exactly. And that is like a big problem in so many relationships. And it's kind of one of those things that like makes me feel a little nervous and also frustrated, especially in long-term relationships. A lot of men forget that that's part
necessary
of sex. Yeah. Men are typically like so driven by just coming, and they stop thinking about their partner and like what their partner needs and are just thinking about how they can get themselves off. It's, I don't know, it like makes me nervous because it's like, is that almost inevitable in any like heterosexual relationship?
I don't know because I've never been in a heterosexual relationship, but I definitely feel like I am on your side of the equation with my current interest. Like it's always just like that, and I'm like, okay.
I have to interject and say I can smell on this couch. I was afraid that this was going to happen. I can smell the cologne of the man that was sitting on my couch last night, and it's making me want to light the entire sofa on fire.
That's terrible. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, my couch smelled like Chihuahua spray tan for about a week, and I thought I was going to have to get the whole thing dry cleaned.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so essentially we both have managed to convince ourselves that we're asexual because we both have sexual needs that are so fucking normal, but like completely underrated. And yeah.
I deleted Grindr, and I'm really proud of myself.
I'm really proud of you for that. You've told me this already. And I feel like it's one of those things where like you delete it, but then like a moment of despair, you re-download it. But it's been what, like a week and you haven't re-downloaded it?
Yeah. I'm like, it's so gross and stresses me out. Like it just stresses me out.
I'm really proud of you.
Yeah. I think after my stint last week or a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, I'm like, I have enough people in my Rolodex that I can reach out to that it's like I don't feel like I need to add another person into the mix right now.
We're always opposites. I'm feeling different.
Yeah, you need to add some more people. You need to go on some dates this week for me.
I have essentially been texting men in my phone. My problem is that I in the past have like strictly only been in long distance relationships. Those have been my only serious relationships, and it's caused a lot of problems for me because when I'm like needing comfort of another person or like needing to get laid or like whatever, it's not like I can just fucking phone an ex and have somebody come over, you know? And I'm trying to like focus my efforts on only dating people in Los Angeles, but I'm not having any fucking luck. And lately I've been so desperate. I said this in our last episode too, and I'm saying it again. I've been literally so desperate for fucking human touch, like just physical contact. I just want somebody to come over and be in my bed and like spoon me for like 6 hours and then they can go home. And I have not been able to get that from anybody. And it's like actually gotten very sad. Like I'm desperate, like begging people to come over and no one will fucking come over.
You need to go find boys.
I was thinking about it this morning, actually. I was thinking to myself, the fact that I've been like so desperately seeking this and it has not happened. I haven't been able to find anybody to like provide me with that comfort. Maybe I just fucking take it for what it is, and maybe the universe is telling me you need to be alone for a second. Like you just need to sit down, be alone with your thoughts, stop trying to distract yourself with like men or people or whatever, and just take a breath.
That's kind of again why I deleted the G.
Yeah. And I feel like although that's not going to create very good podcast content, maybe that's just my truth right now. But I'm still like deeply fucking lonely, but at least you'll be here this weekend.
I think that you need to like, are you talking to any like potential people on Raya or anyone? Is there anyone that you've like matched with that you would want to talk to?
No, because I keep having that problem where like I match with somebody and then they message me and then I look at their page and I'm like, why did I swipe right on you?
I know. I've been doing that a lot lately.
Literally, why did I swipe right on you? Like the other night I was like, I actually did swipe right on a bunch of people that I probably otherwise wouldn't have swiped right on. And now I'm just like, I don't know why I did that. Because now they're matching with me and messaging me. And I'm like,
stressed out.
I want nothing to do with any of you.
Yeah. But I kind of, I don't know. I'm like, I feel like it's different in the gay community though. Like I could match with someone and like go on a date with them or whatever and like become friends with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which has happened a few times.
Yeah.
But I'm just not really in a headspace where I would even want to like go do something like that.
I'm like envious of the fact that gay people are able to like maintain friendships after a failed attempt at dating each other. It's like, as I've obviously expressed in previous episodes, it's just like not a thing that straight people are allowed to have.
I'm trying to find an ick with Mr. Organic. Like I'm desperately trying to find one because I want there to be an excuse.
Yeah.
But I haven't found one.
I feel like that's something you should speak to a therapist about.
I have there was a few, but they're not enough to be icks.
Right.
Just like the shoes by the front door and the kinds of shoes.
Stop. That's not a sleigh.
I feel like he's going to catch on to this podcast at some point.
Yeah. He doesn't seem like the type that would even listen. Like, I don't think he thinks that we're funny or entertaining, and I don't think he would listen to our banter.
I know. That's also another thing. Like, I want to be with someone who, like, would understand our humor.
Yeah.
And, like, know what the vibe is.
Me too. Yeah.
And, like, that's what makes me so sad about my ex is that, like, I don't know if he would support this journey for me, like, if we were together, but we have the same humor. Mm-hmm. Like, he fucking gets it. Mm-hmm. And, like, also, like, I just compare everything back to him. And I'm just like, it makes me miss him more. For example, the guy with the shoes.
Yeah.
I'm like, if my ex saw these fucking shoes, we would be dying. Like, we would be, like, dying.
Yeah.
We would just, like, look at each other and, like, laugh.
You're making me miss your ex-boyfriend.
I know, but it's like that's the kind of shit that is like drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah. As I've stated, I miss my ex every day of my fucking life, but literally the only thing that I have to hang on to that like
is that fucking Alexander Wang sweatshirt?
No. Please don't talk about that. It's embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's cute.
It's Alexander Wang. It's not.
It's a cute little violet lavender.
The color's cute, but whatever.
Okay, what do you have to hang on to?
The only thing that provides me comfort, like, out of that breakup, can you fucking not?
People with horns like that should not honk.
No, their horns
like if
should
my
be
car
ripped from
had
their vehicle.
A little horn that was like... like, I would never fucking honk at somebody.
No, I would be embarrassed to honk at people.
There's also, like, a rule, like, if someone has a nicer car than you can't honk at them.
I've never heard of that rule, and I don't subscribe to that. But I probably wouldn't, just because I don't want to embarrass myself in that way. But I don't think I agree
like,
with
if
that
someone's
rule.
in front of me and, like, a Bentley, I'm not honking at them when the light turns green and they don't go. I'm like, this person is probably doing something on their phone that is making them money. Than wherever I have to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't honk at people at lights anyway because I'm patient.
On your phone.
I am on my phone. I'm always on my phone. No, okay. Back to ex-boyfriends. The only thing that provides me comfort in like the fact that I know I made the right decision in like our breakup is that I have always wanted to do something like this, and like I think making our podcast is really fun, but this is something I wouldn't be able to do had I been in that relationship. Mm-hmm. And so like I find peace in that like I'm exploring a side of myself that I wouldn't have been able to like within that relationship. But then same exact situation, like there was a certain level of like knowing each other and understanding each other's like sense of humor and stuff that like I've never found with another person. And it's like so fucking depressing.
Yeah.
It's
and
so
I just
depressing.
feel like me and you get the ick so quickly.
Of course.
And like if there's one thing, i.e. I'm going back to the shoes again, that is kind of something that like I can't let go of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So the guy that most recently gave me the ick, even I can't even have a conversation with him without wanting to like legitimately punch him in the throat. Like I'm like so
annoyed by him.
Annoyed and icked out by him. I'm like, once I get the ick, it is absolutely game over. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like I just get the ick so easily. And it's like, I think about this person specifically, the one that I'm not going to give more details on this individual. I'll just refer to him as the guy that's given me the ick. I think about him and I have thought about the idea that women have been interested in him previously and have like he's had long-term romantic relationships, and I'm like,
what kind of creature
what
was
the
interested
fuck
in
is
you?
wrong with these women? Like, are they literally like so like what is wrong with them? Like, and I know that's really fucked up,
Wait,
but I'm
what?
like,
What gave you the ick about him?
he got too clingy too quick, and like it just like came on too strong. I am such a lover when I'm with somebody, but it really takes me a while to get there. And so when people are like too eager too soon, absolutely the fuck not. You will never see me again.
I also hate when it's like they like gaslight you into thinking that they know you so well, and you're like, you don't fucking know anything about me.
Okay. In our last episode, when we talked about the Chihuahua and how he like is like, I literally want you to be my boyfriend, and you're like,
And I was like, you don't know my dad's name. You don't know
we're
like
perfect strangers.
where I went to college. You don't know like what kind of
Absolutely.
music I listen to. Like, you don't know anything about me.
After like my first or second date / hangout with Spit in My Mouth Man, he like was telling me about how crazy he was about me, how much he liked me, yada yada yada, and I was like,
That's
you
weird.
didn't ask me even a fucking single question about myself on our first date. You know nothing about me. Don't tell me that you like me when you actually don't even know me as a person. Like, that is so weird and annoying to me. I can't stand it when people do that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm tired of hearing your voice and mine, so I think we should wrap it up for everybody. I'm sure they're tired of listening to us too.
If they've made it this far, God bless you all.
What did we talk about today? We talked about our asexualness. We talked about me
We're
being in love with my
asexual.
ex. Talked about you being in love with your ex.
You're bothered this week and I was hot this week.
That's hot.
But now that we've talked about how much we miss our exes, I'm kind of bothered.
Yeah.
Everybody, go follow us on Instagram, Hot and Bothered the Pod. Follow us on other things if you want. I just don't know where you'll find us. Text your ex.
I wouldn't suggest that. Because
You might end up blocked like me.
it's a slippery slope, or you might end up falling back in love with them. So just don't think about it.
Venus is out of retrograde or
Retrograde.
whatever the fuck it was doing. So, like, I think...
It is?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll stop smashing my fingers.
So I think that now it's safe to text your ex. Text your ex, and what else did we talk about? Oh, don't be asexual. Have an orgasm this
Try
week.
to for us, please.
For our sake, please try to have an orgasm. Preferably
with somebody else. With somebody else, please.
Please, we're begging you. Text us. Tell us all about it. Message us on Instagram.
Don't text us.
Tell
Actually,
us about your orgasm.
Do not text us.
Love you all so much.
Okay, love you guys. Thank you. Have a hot week. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Bye.